S1E2 Cape Breton Diver Guide. I'm Ken Jardine from Scuba Tech, a dive instructor here in Sydney, Nova Scotia.
You're losing it, Ken. And I'm Mark Boutat from the Nervous Strike Dive Club here in Sydney.
Today we're going to be doing a couple of segments. We're going to have our Tech Talk segment.
Yes.
Ever popular one.
And what are we talking about on Tech Talk today?
Tech Talk is going to be on tank inspection. I think the last one we did was on scuba tanks themselves, but the tank inspection.
Okay.
After that, our dive today.
I understand you're taking us to a fish trap.
It's one of the few dives I did, Mark, that I didn't do with you.
That's right.
It's a huge fish trap. Those of you that like lobster, when you buy a lobster at your store or what have you, the bait that was used for that lobster is mackerel, and it's caught in a giant fish trap. We'll talk a little more about it later on. Okay. And then for the instructor tips, we're going to be looking at the proper way to do descents. So if you're a snorkeler, this will also be of interest to you, how to get yourself underwater with all that equipment on and such. A little bit of a knack to it. And this is what we're going to be getting at today.
Oh, great. Great. Sounds like a very, very interesting show we have today. I know on the location part of the show, this is going to be brand new to me. I'm going to be watching this for the very first time because I haven't seen any of this footage at all yet.
Well, that's good. We'll talk you through it. It's right at the base of the Celtic Lodge that it was shot, if you've ever been to the Celtic Lodge, and you're looking toward Cape Smoky. There's fishing done right there.
And that's a beautiful spot,
it's just
too.
Fantastic.
Even if you
just dive.
Diving, or even if you're just going for a walk or along the beach or the rocks and that's a beautiful, beautiful area. Mm-hmm. And if this show ever becomes larger than Nova Scotia, we can advertise some of this.
That'd be great. You did a dive with me with the fish farm, too. We're going to have to get that one of these days.
The fish farm's a good dive.
The day we dove the fish trap, there weren't any fish in it, but the fish farm, of course, there's always fish in there. Anyway, folks, without further ado, we'll go right to the tank inspection segment, and hope you enjoy it. Hi, Ken. Hi, Marky. How you doing?
Not too bad, buddy. How you doing today?
Pretty good. You're just in time for Tech Talk.
Oh, that's great, because I have a topic you might want to address here, but this tank here is due for visual. As a matter of fact, it's...
Yep, definitely.
It definitely is.
Alrighty. Just to let the folks know, scuba tanks require a visual inspection once a year by a certified tank inspector, technician. What we're doing on a visual inspection is we're looking for any contamination in the tank, and we're also looking for any obvious damage to the tank. All right, because they are a high-pressure cylinder. They operate at 3,000 psi, the average tank. So there's quite a bit of protocol we go through for a visual inspection. And how about if we just walk through it since you're here anyway?
That'd be great, because I'd like to learn about this myself.
Alrighty. Well, the first thing, as I said, is to do a visual inspection. You're going to need some special tools, and you're going to need some special training. All right? The guys here at Scuba Tech, we've all, unfortunately, like a lot of things, we had to go away and get some courses on this.
Okay, so it's not something that I could do myself to my own.
No, and that's a good point. You should never do self-maintenance on scuba gear. It's, for one thing, it is a life support system, if you want to think of it that way. And not to find a point on it, but can you afford to make a mistake? You know, not really. Plus, there's a lot of pressure on this. 3,000 pounds per square inch is quite a bit of pressure. If you don't follow proper safety precautions, you could have some problems. But the first thing you need is a checklist. All right? Let's see here. More books on the go. And shake a tank at. Right? Guide to visual inspections. William in Ohio, I've met the man. He's a real nice guy. The guy's done about 1 million scuba inspections. So he literally wrote the book on scuba inspections. That's one of the places you can get training for doing tank inspection courses. We've made up our own tank inspection checklist, and you're going to do things like take down the owner's name and number, the type of tank. When is the hydrostatic test due?
Okay, hydrostatic test. What do you mean by hydrostatic?
All right. Hydro is from the Latin hydrogeminus, meaning water. Who knows? It's water, okay? What they do is they take the tank, drain it out, fill it with water, put it in a jacket full of water. They actually stretch the tank. If this tank is a 3,000 psi tank, it is pressurized to 5/3 the operating pressure. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So 3,000 multiplied by 5/3 comes out to 5,000 psi. When you do that, the metal tank actually stretches a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a special hydrostatic test machine, and it reads how much is expanded. Then they take the pressure away, and the tank contracts. And there's a little formula, a hydrostatic test guide, that we don't do it ourselves. This is heavy industrial stuff. And there's a little formula they use through Canadian Transport Commission. It has to contract a certain amount in a certain amount of time, and it passes. If it passes, they'll stamp it with their inspector number, stamp it right in the metal. Okay? I've seen tanks from the late 50s that are still getting good hydros, and as long as they continue to pass hydrostatic test and the visual inspection, you're laughing. So the first thing we're going to do is we check, is this tank out of date for hydro? If it's out of date for hydro, there's no point doing the visual. Exactly. This one here is, actually, I'm not going to bother with this one because it has some air in it. Okay. I've already taken the liberty of draining the tank here. All right. And we'll just go through the inspection process. First thing we're going to do is we're going to empty the tank, which I've done. All the air is gone out of it. Remove the backpack, the boot, the mesh, and everything else. I've already taken a look at the bottom of this tank, but you would slip the boot off and take a look at it. Okay. Once the outside, you're looking for any external damage, as you can see here. Dents, gouges, corrosion, does it need to be repainted, heat damage, and a roll test. Okay? Visual should be done once every year. Okay? Or if the tank is exposed to either some kind of severe physical shock, like a fell out of somebody's truck or something, or if it's been in a building that was on fire, or a real high heat, because it couldn't ruin the temper of the metal. Alright? So if I'm looking here for any scorch marks or any damage, and people may not realize that their tank has some kind of damage. If I find any damage on the visual, even though the hydrostatic stamping is still good, the hydrostatic test is good for 5 years, if I find severe damage, I'm sending it for rehydro. Okay. Because I'm not going to trust... I'm not going to trust you with one. It wouldn't be very good for me to send you out the door with a tank. That's right. That you suspect. Okay? So, having done a roll test, make sure there's no dents, gouges, things like that, deep pitting or something like that, we're going to do an internal inspection. First thing we're going to do is remove the valve. Some of my dive students that are out there and saw that I left the tank standing up with air in it, there's only 200 pounds air in it, so don't come bug me. You know, how many times you hear that? Whose tank is standing up? That's right, and you're the worst one for asking. No, I ask it all the time, but I'm pretty meticulous about it. When there's pressure on the tank, you don't leave it standing up. Exactly. I'll put the valve aside, we'll talk about those in a few minutes. Yeah, because I have a question to ask you on valves. Okay, no problem. So we get the valve off of it, and we're going to do an internal inspection. Alrighty? Okay, if you just want to move for 1 second. Sure. We'll just pull this work table down. How convenient to have that. Hey, it just happened to be there. We're not good, but we're slow. Alrighty. Little tank inspection light. People think that you just, a visual inspection, you just stick a light in and have a quick look and you're gone. There's a lot more to it than that. You can tell a lot about a scuba tank when you look inside of it. I can tell, well, not just myself, but me and any of the guys here at the shop, we can tell how someone has laid the tank. Did they start standing up, laying down? Have they been getting the air from a good source, somewhere that maybe there's a little moisture for some? Somehow they're getting moisture in that, and you'll see how in a second here. Unfortunately, it's too small of an area to get the actual camera lens down here. But when you take a look here, look inside of that and see if you can think of something that reminds you of. Looks like the inside of a thermos bottle. Thermos bottle, exactly. That is. This tank is an excellent. Anybody out there, run into the kitchen, grab the thermos bottle, rip the top off it, and you see what the inside should look like. Okay? You can see there's no water stains, there's no water spots on it or anything like that. Now I got to take a look at the neck here. Alright, looking for cracks. And then use your handy dandy dental thingy. Stick it in there, and you're looking for cracks, dents, gouges, that sort of thing. There's the indication, usually if the rest of the tank is good, is it usually pretty good around the no, the next, if there's going to be any damage at all, just from the way the tanks are made, okay, that's a good question actually, just from the way that they're manufactured, if there's going to be a problem, it's going to be in the neck. There's an extrusion process they go through when they make it, not to get too crazy about it, but this thing starts out as a little slug of aluminum. There's a giant power driver somewhere in California that smashes this thing over the top of a mold and makes basically a big cut. They take that out of it, they put it on another machine, and it pinches the top. Look at these things at the steel plant. Reason off at the top, and they tack out the end of it. Alright? So we do that, and then we check the threads. And in the threads here, you can see, with using this mirror, it's real easy to check them. Oh, yeah. And you're looking for dents, gouges, etc. We're going to clean up the threads if it needs it, and stuff like that. And And that's our internal inspection done. And then I go back to my list, and I start ticking it off, tick, 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 inspecting the neck for cracks, the threads are good. Then I go to the valve. All right, what were you wondering about valves?
I noticed the tank I brought in is a single control. This one here has two controls on it. What's the difference between these pumps?
The price. So the big thing, this is called a K valve. Okay, it just has an off and on. That's it, and a burst disc and a snorkel. And an O-ring. All valves have these things. They have an O-ring here, which is what meshes in with the tank, an O-ring at the air outlet, which meshes up with your regulator, a snorkel tube, and an on-off valve.
Okay.
They also have a burst disc, which is a pressure relief disc. All right. This is a J valve. I remember the two because a J valve jerks your line. You got to jiggle this thing. All right, J for jiggle. This is a reserve. In the old days, when we were a kid, they would dive with this thing in the up position and literally suck the tank dry. Once they felt like, turn it off, turn it down, and there's a spring in here which is released and lets you get out the rest of the air. This is what I learned down in the military. However, half the time you reach back and somebody's skin is hit it or something like that, so it was already down. And then you, oh well, better make it a move.
Always across and you're sucking.
Well, not quite so drastic. We had there are, as you know, there's procedures for low-air emergencies or whatever situations, and we just carry on with that. But those are the two things with the valves. We check the threads on them, the burst discs, etc. Make sure they're good.
Which is the most popular one nowadays?
Oh, the K valve for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot simpler, a lot easier.
There's no messing around with it.
With all your gauges, you always know.
Nowadays, you have a pressure gauge, just like a gas gauge in a car. You know what's your tank, what's in your tank. All right. Anyway, that's about it. Once you've done all that, there's a sticker that goes on. The sticker is punched. It will be punched with the date. Or let's say today we punch it for, not the date to show, but we're shooting this the last day of February. You punch it with, I punch it with March of 95.
Okay.
And when someone comes in for the next year, if you take it here or up in the mainland somewhere or anywhere else to get your air fill, they should be checking the inspection sticker, right?
Okay.
And it's good until March of 96. Great. So it's that simple, right?
It doesn't matter where you go, as long as that sticker is valid, you should be able to get a fill.
Right, but you never drain a tank totally dry. Once the tank's totally dry, it needs a visual again, because you don't know what got inside of it. Anyway, that's about all the time we have for Tech Talk right now. We'll get this thing put back together again and carry on with the show.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken.
No problem. I know those guys.
Yeah, I wonder who they are. They saw so much cream on there.
Evil twin brother.
That's right. That's why he has longer hair.
Yeah, as we were talking, we were talking while the segment was rolling, and that a lot of that stuff you'll learn on a basic scuba course. But again, these Tech Talk segments and instructor tips are not meant to replace formal training.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Because there are safety hazards.
The easiest thing with the tank is if you know the inspection schedule, you bring it into somebody and let them do it. We'll gladly do it for you. Come on in the shop.
Okay, Ken, I think we only have a few seconds to introduce our location, and we're going to let you talk us through this location today. And what is the location?
Well, as I said before, the location is basically in the shadow of the Celtic Lodge in Ingonish, and inside of a fish trap. So let's just go right to the video, Mark. Would be the best thing to do, the underwater stuff, and let the folks see what just exactly what's going on there.
Good.
This part here was the ship itself. Papillon's got a huge, I think about a 42-foot ocean-going trawler, and you can see here how they get the fish off. In the old days, they used the old pitchfork and the fish boxes. But look at this. What a way to get fish off the boat, eh? I was standing right on top of the forklift. The boat was there. They're looking at me. The guy's like, this guy's nuts. But,
well, you have to be a little nuts.
Well, it's a giant vacuum cleaner. Sucks it out of the hole. Now, the stuff here, the camera's inside the housing. As you know, I won't take the camera out and expose it to the elements. But we steamed across to the Celtic Lodge here. And
so right beneath there is the door, right?
We're about ready to go in the water. We're just getting ready to go in the water. What you see around there, all those floats on the top, that's basically the top of the walls. Our buddy Shane Breon was in the water with me. And up behind him, that's all mess.
There's the nets.
Yeah, it's not, the angle here looks like the net's above his head, but it's not. We had clear access to the surface throughout the dive. That's the side of the wall here. And give you an idea how big this is. The average bungalow house, average, single-family dwelling, if you took 9 of them and put them all together, 3 rows of 3, okay, you could stack them 3 high. So you could put 27 bungalows inside of this thing. That's how big it is.
Right.
It's huge, just humongous. And you can see there's a few fish on the bottom that are still in the net, and at the end of the season they'll be hauled up. But that's not that many fish when you consider the thing will hold 150,000 pounds of fish or so. And the lobster fishermen need that mackerel for their traps for bait.
Okay. How often do they pull the nets?
Well, they'll pull it once a day. They go out early morning stuff. I stayed at their house the other night, and 3 o'clock in the morning, Pat come in to wake up Shane. Don't give you a heart attack. So they, fishermen earn their pay. All types of fishermen. It's early morning stuff before the wind picks up and this sort of thing to get out. But that's a good question. They pull that. Well, if it's really loaded, they might have to actually, do a couple times a day.
Is that right?
To clean it out. The day when you saw the big vacuum cleaner taking up, 53,000 pounds of fish. That's going to take a couple of dinners for you. But it's all sold to different co-ops and such for bait. And you can see here we're swimming around the base of it.
You had fairly good visibility that day.
It was an excellent day. Actually, it was the same day we did Green Cove. Okay. On the way back from Green Cove, we just stopped off to say hi to Pat and the boys, sort of thing. Shane and Derek, and Pat says, "When are you going to take a picture of that trap for me?" He wanted to see how it sits on the bottom, or if it's sitting properly. Okay. And the walls of it are the way they want it sitting is the whole floor of it should be sitting right on the bottom, and later on you'll see in here where they're sewed together and there's lead line there holding it down.
Okay.
At the back end, it's about 10 feet off the bottom. They're about 60 foot high walls of mesh panels, and they're all sewn together, and they sewed all this by hand. Look, you can see the stitching in the upper right corner there. And
Shane checking.
Yeah, he just had a little look. That's a little fold in it that he swam under a bit because it's not. It's in 70 feet of water at the far end of it, so obviously it's not going to sit right on the bottom.
Right.
But as we move towards shore, actually, when he comes out here, he'll turn to his left, and we're actually swimming toward the Celtic Lodge.
That is great. How many divers were down there?
Pam, Krista, Shane, myself, and Shane. There's Shane Gallant and Shane Breton. Now, Paulette, my girlfriend, was up on the surface. She did a little bit of snorkeling on the surface with a wetsuit on, but it was a little bit rough, so she wanted to get back in. You can see a flatfish swimming around. We're still on the outside of the trap, actually, here. There's no fish in it because, well, they're all back in the boat.
They just finished emptying out the net.
There was one here, he was trying to swim through the net sort of thing. There, now, right above that fish, see the lead line where it's all sewed? Okay. Again, folks, imagine something that would take up about, well, you pick out about 10 yards in your neighborhood. That's how big around it is. And hand sewing. All around. There's no Singer sewing machine for doing that.
And Pat and Shane and Derek, they all do the sewing?
Yes, yeah. Well, Derek and Shane are third generation.
Okay.
Right, because Pat's father, I always tease Pat, I say, you don't know nothing about fishing, you just ask your father. But there's, third generation, that's all they do, and they fish a lot of different things, and it's a weird way to make a buck with all the regulations and that. There we see we freed that little fish, letting him off for a swim. But it's, there we are at 62 feet. We've been down for 8 minutes there. I'm looking at the center screen on the gauge, so. And there, at the front of it at 60, you see it's 2 feet off the bottom. But it's sitting exactly the way it's very accurate the way they have this thing rigged up.
Those are the leads?
Yes. Yeah, very accurate. Scotia Rope there in North Sydney makes lead line in there. I don't know if they make it just like that, but I know they donated to the Go for Gold. The green line we use for boundary, the lead is actually sewn right into the rope. It's pretty neat. Now this is what they call the door. All right. There's a deflective panel that is off to my right as I'm swimming through the door here, and that sort of channels or corrals the fish in. Now we're inside, okay? And it's sort of I guess you'd say it's a pentagon-shaped, 5-sided the way it sort of stretches out.
Okay.
And each panel it's sewed from the surface all the way to the bottom, so you have a 60-foot run times, well, the 5 or 6 panels where it's joined together, plus the floor of it is sewed all the way around, so it's quite an elaborate affair.
What?
That's me. Self-portrait.
Yeah. I do that quite often on some videos.
Yeah. When you're the cameraman, you never get into
What would the weight of that net? Did you ever find out what the weight of that net is?
No, that's a great question, but I couldn't tell you. It's a lot. He has a crane on board his ship, a big hydraulic winch and everything. It's pretty neat, the layout of his boat, to re-rig it to fish for different things and everything else. But I would say like you say, a ton of coal doesn't seem like much until you pick up a shovel.
That's right.
To look at it here, this is one of the most interesting dive shots you're ever going to see here. As far as I thought anyway, as a camera person. This is looking straight up. We're in the corner where 2 panels meet. We're swimming straight up. It's kind of disorienting, but boy, when you're actually physically there, to give you an idea, if you stand at the base, like the CN Tower, people say it's really neat to look down it. Anybody goes to a really tall building, walk until your chest is touching the building, and then look up. But be careful, because you can fall right backwards. It really makes you kind of dizzy. Well, you're dizzy anyway. But this is really something. To swim up this thing, look how long it's taking to swim up. Of course, we have to do a slow ascent right now.
Which is?
The new rate for going up is 1 foot every 2 seconds. So from 60 feet, it takes you like 2 minutes to get up.
Exactly.
And that's to give your body a chance to outgas and everything else. All that stuff, well, you know that stuff. But for the folks at home that are not scuba divers, and for those of you, if next time you're sitting at your table, or next time you're going off the dock and some fish off Krista or something like that, and you're saying, gee, the price of fish, when you think how much work went into them to do that net, and then to lay it out, the boat's worth $250,000 or more.
Exactly.
You know, it's a tremendous amount of work. And, to get the fish home so people can, buy it and eat it and whatever else.
Exactly. That is a lot of work. That was some excellent footage there, Ken.
Yeah,
that was super.
We'll get you in there. I want to get in there when it's full of fish.
Yeah.
That's the next thing. And they still have it in the water.
Is that right?
Well, we have an open invitation down there.
That's right. That we do.
we'll have to get down
The Bretons are a very, very nice family. They welcome you with open arms.
Yeah, And we're going to get out one of the other... They have 2 little support boats, And I think they got the name the Why Not, and the third one's called Because.
Right.
So they'll take us out for a dive anytime we want.
Anyways, let's talk about some descents.
Right, all the fun stuff to get to the bottom and that. You have to be able to get down there. We did an instructor tip part at the YMCA pool, and with our little helpers there, they're going to show the proper techniques. If you're a snorkeler, you'll be interested in this also. Just the proper techniques for getting yourself under the water, breaking the surface.
Okay, let's take a look at this.
All right, ladies, we're going to carry on with the snorkeling segments of Instructor Talk. Welcome back. And one of the things that I see people doing a lot, both on scuba and on skin diving equipment, or snorkeling equipment, if you will, is trying to get to the bottom and fighting their equipment like crazy. They thrash around and they find it very hard to get to the bottom. So you're swimming along in 6 or 8 feet of water and you see a shiny object or you dropped your dive knife or whatever. Instead of going on to scuba, you just have your snorkeling, you want to do a quick duck down and grab it. Or for all you snorkelers out there that drop a little something or you see something interesting, you want to grab it. All right, there's a couple little tricks to the trade. I'm going to give the ladies here a little bit of a refresher, my 2 scuba students, Angela and Maura, and a little verbal refresher on it, and they're going to demonstrate just how good they are, because I've seen them do it. They've got this one mastered, right? Perfect? No? All right. You remember, when you're doing the head-first descent, as you're coming along, you bend at the waist when you're ready to go down, and try and touch the ceiling with your fins. Really force your fins up, arms at your side. Skim along the bottom. When you're coming up, look up, reach up with your left hand, and come up. All right? Any questions? All right, let's show the folks how it's done. You can see when they're swimming along, they don't use their arms at all. With scuba equipment or fins on, if you use your arms, you're totally wasting your energy. Come along, they get out over the deep end. like that, the effect it has is, since only part of you is in the water now, the weight of your legs actually drives you under. And lots of signals, right? The signal that we're okay, that was perfect, absolutely perfect. Did you find that took a lot of effort? No, once the higher you get your legs out of the water, the harder it's going to drive you under. And as with all scuba, when you're coming up toward the surface, you always look up, reach up, and come up. That way, if your dive buddy is on the surface a little bit ahead of you, you're not going to bump your head on their tank or on their fins or anything like that. And that's the tricks to the trade. And we're back. Those guys really have that down pat.
They do, and they're having fun with this too. And it's funny, when you develop these very simple skills, it makes scuba diving so easy. Even snorkeling, it makes it so easy.
It's a sport. That's one thing I like about instructing, is that since I have to teach the skills all the time, I'm constantly practicing. You know yourself from helping me with courses in the pool and such. Yeah. You're constantly practicing, and sometimes students or newer divers will say, God, you can get dressed so fast, or you're so good at this or that. Well, if you do it, 600 or 700 times, you should be pretty good at it. But no, it's a lot of fun. It's a sport. It's a couch potato sport in that you're not supposed to get sweaty. You're not supposed to get tired and get breathing hard and everything. You're supposed to relax and swim along and enjoy yourself.
And it is a very relaxing sport. And the more comfortable you get with it, the more relaxed it is, the more you have time to look at things rather than worry about your equipment.
And as you can see there, Angela and Maura are two teenage girls. They did just fantastic on the course. So you get everything from young teenage girls right up to no comment.
Right.
So you have a full, broad range of the spectrum.
I'm not that old, folks.
My grandmother, 93 years old, she wants to come diving with me. That's how we'll get her out there.
We'd like to thank you again for joining us this week. And before we go, we just want to mention that next week we're going to be showing
this is one of my favorites.
scallops and cooking.
Cooking the scallops. When I was at second in command of the base diving team in Shearwater, when I was back in the service, the clearance divers down there, someone called me Mr. Scallop. That's what I did for training dives for a dive team. I would get a scallop dive going. This dive was done on St. Anne's Day. We got lots of scallops. We show you how to shuck them, cook them. They work. So you're really going to enjoy it.
Okay.
If you have any questions or comments on our show, we're going to give you some addresses at the end here, and hopefully you'll get in touch with us. But for now, it's Ken Jardine and
Mark Boutot. See you next week.
Safe diving.